is tough right now.
And I want to say that even Secret have some experience kind of butting heads with Faceless too. Back during that Asus Rog run, I'm sure they had some time to sit with them and scrim a bit. And yeah, well, this, gentlemen, we have a draft. Let's go ahead and get into it right now. It's game number 2 of Digital Chaos versus Team Secret. Let's get into it. Leading off right away, our very first ban, DC say, you know what? We're good without the Ember. So they'll take it out.
That's good. That's nice. I like it.
Ember's still having a pretty dang good tournament run so far, but Slaughter's gonna go. Now Wisp, Underlord, Shadow Demon Luna, oh no.
Rubik. Did we even see a Slaughter game at all?
Not today.
Yeah, there was at least one yesterday.
Yeah, well, I mean, IG for sure were definitely flexing their Slaughter muscle plenty, but for all the other teams, they want to play it, but they don't seem to be getting the wins with it, so they're like, we'll just ban it. So that trend will be continuing here, and now we see a position where Secret are like, what are we going to ban to let through here? They ban the Meepo, means prime picks like the Shadow Demon, like the Luna, and like the Underlord are still out there. Shadow Demon will be the pick here for DC once again.
I'm fine with the Shadow Demon. It's very flexible. It prevents the SD Luna being on the same team if you don't pick either of the two. It can aggro tri lane, it's defensive, it's very flexible.
I'm not gonna say they must pick Luna now, but they will have to.
But they must.
Must.
That's what they did last game, so they're perfectly happy to do so. MP had a fantastic game.
Maybe even a Rubik for them, so they can steal Disruption and make illusion of your own Luna.
And we saw last time they went the Luna and then the Ember, confident to kind of just show their hand. I'm curious to see if they're going to be showing the mid-1 core once again, or if this time they'll be able to kind of squeeze in an early support grab.
I'd be surprised if they did. Last game, it's like they just really wanted Ember. This hero has become so strong and in mid-1's hands, played incredibly well. It's worth picking the first two, but typically you've got last pick. You want to use that last pick to pick your mid as that final pick of the draft.
But look at this. They find extra value now in that Silencer, maybe even fearing that based on its performance in the last game, DC would have considered banning it in the second phase. So Secret are like, why don't we just snag it now before they even get the chance?
Yeah. The hero is really good when you initiate on a core, because typically you overcommit too many spells on a core hero, SD Disruption, and all those initiation spells are wasted, but Silence prevents that disruption.
Well, look who it is. It's Milady Mirana.
Gonna be a nice position for Mirana.
Bit of a throwback, Shadow Demon Mirana. You know, it could be the support duo that we used to know about, the peanut butter and jelly combo, if you will. Or, of course, it could still be resonating in that core position. Nonetheless, synergizes very nicely with each other, and I'm going to be excited to see what she can pull out in her debut of the tournament. Moving forward with the second phase of bans, though, DC will get rid of that Kazoo Nyx assassin that we saw in the previous game, and a Slark will be taken out here by Secret.
Just love the Silencer pick again. Last game it really grew big with Bloodlust and like 50 intelligence.
Yeah, any reason why they don't just get the Ogre again in this lineup? It seems like it'd be okay.
Yeah, it's a hero DC are unlikely to ban. They're more likely to target the core heroes as well. Unless we're sitting there like, guys, just ban Ogre. I don't want to verse an Ogre mid. But
yeah, Ogre gave a hard time on Invoker versus Ember at mid game. I mean at mid lane.
Yeah, it does seem like Secret is happy to take a similar approach, an idea from last game. They'll get Kazoo some kind of initiator. The Nyx's not available, but plenty of other heroes that he can play there.
Now that they see the Silencer, does the Invoker become a little less appealing if you're DC? Seemed to, appealing before because they didn't see the Silencer yet. They already had the Shadow Demon. It was a fair pairing. They saw the Ember Spirit on the other side.
Definitely, it's much less likely to be the pick for Weehaw this game. I feel like an OD type hero because that's a more natural like BKB buyer, someone you can use like Hurricane Pike, BKB, and you're fine. You're not too worried about versing Silencer as an OD.
Enigma banned again. Do they know something that we don't?
Just they know they don't want to go against it.
I mean, Enigma plus Silence is pretty nice. You black hole, you global, you can't cancel the black hole.
There's Shrek again.
I know that from the interview, Puppy had said that him and DC obviously, or Secret and DC have not scrimmed at all.
What interview?
Never faced each other. What interview? There's an interview out there somewhere. But Ogre, they decided to go for the Ogre. Not really surprised about that. Back the way of Digital Chaos now. Have a very open-ended draft without giving too much information here, so the world is their oyster.
Yeah, what do they want to do? The Legion Commander stands out as one of the big heroes that Moon plays, still available. Pretty nice if you... Oh, Centaur. Okay.
Centaur and Shadow Demon too. That's a fun puppy little combo.
This is like
Centaur gets level 25, Luna's gonna kill herself.
With that and
So
Shadow
we
Demon, I mean,
suggest-
that could be a bit of a headache for a Luna in the later game. Not to say that it is, you know, Centaur can easily get to level 25,
Yeah,
but if it
just
does...
Midas for Centaur, first item, and just drag the game.
And you see the Centaur, it's good synergy with the SD Mirana, possible aggro tri lane if they can get Rezo a decent 1v1 matchup. But right now they don't know just yet what that Kezu hero is going to be. They may find out now with the fourth pick coming up though.
Kezu classic heroes now. Pondering back to even Days of Escape.
A lot of Void back then. He played some of those big team fight Void Tides, but don't know if they want necessarily another big team fight ultimate with a long cooldown. They've already got Global and Luna Eclipse. Rather see like maybe a Batrider type hero, something with a cleaner initiation. Yeah. Because a clean single target initiator, they don't want to have to like walk in with a Tide or whatever it may be, but...
Yeah, I like the Batrider idea. We haven't seen much of it yet this event. It is against a Shadow Demon, but some people would be very on the fence if even Shadow Demon counts as a good counter to a Batrider or not.
Well, Bat Silencer is ridiculously good because you blink last one, you just immediately global silence, and there's you can't stampede, you can't disrupt. There's very little counterplays to make against Bat Silencer.
Very true.
But they're thinking it through, and we'll see what they have in mind.
Well, and maybe for DC Scary, I can see a Juggernaut, maybe Manta to remove the global silence, and Rezo loves to play it.
It's going to be an axe.
Initiation, good option. Good against any illusion hero, since you may be thinking, okay, DC's going to pick some Agi carry to make SD illusions of still.
Anyway, this could kind of change up the laning phase here for Secret at all. Do you think this is going to be something they keep traditional and just kind of keep them in the off lane? Will they pair it with something? Do they want to go aggro now that they have this kind of in their
Well, they can go with their first three heroes, they can go off lane. Well, off lane is a new safe lane. I think they can go with that.
I mean, obviously it might be revealed or more ideal once we see DC's core pickup to see if it's someone they can easily shut down or not, but they now have that kind of option in hand with an axe on their side. Back the way of digital chaos now.
Well, they can still switch Mirana to be a mid hero, but I don't think they will do it.
Yeah, I am pretty curious.
They won't know the mid one hero until the very end of the draft though, so it's one of those things where they can't like decide based on that, and they're going to get his queen now.
Of Pain comes out right now. All right.
Okay.
Momentum, high momentum kind of a hero, of course.
He heard my wish.
Yeah. Well, had a long game just now, and Queen is one of those heroes that benefits a lot from these level 25 talents. New spell lifesteal with the Octarine Blade Mail build.
Octarine Blade Mail build.
Blade Mail somehow counters a global silence if you're gonna get focused as well, but I think it's a BKB game here. A lot of magic damage coming out.
Does that not feel awkward at all, or are you feeling confident if you're picking a Queen of Pain into a Silencer? I mean, I would imagine you don't ideally want to have to build into a BKB, but this looks, you know, like a game that you're going to have to...
Well, can skip the BKB, but it's going to depend how the game goes. If he's going to be having a lot of farm, we can just skip it.
I think importantly, like we saw last game here, that's not going to get kited. The Centaur Stampede, the Queen of Pain mobility, they're not going to have issues getting to the Luna and dealing with 4 staffs and keeping up with the high mobility from the Bloodlust.
Final set of bans right here. It looks like Secret are going to get rid of that Resolution Lifestealer. And we go back the way of Digital Chaos right now, where we anticipate the mid-1 hero here to come out. We've known mid-1 to obviously play a variety of heroes here. Flashy ones including Invoker, let's say.
The arrow is wrong. It's DC who picked first.
Foul.
Yeah, Valve.
Sorry about that.
That's all right.
DC though.
So DC looking for the Rezo hero before the mid-1 hero. Lifesteal is one of those, it's nice to pick the Lifesteal because you can just give him the 1v1 matchup against Axe. Maybe it doesn't dominate or anything, but it does give your supports flexibility to roam. It's one of the more sustainable heroes, but with it banned, maybe the Jug that Lacoste mentioned becomes more appealing. Morphling still in the pool is something he played quite a lot of. Seems they're just ignoring the Naga though.
Yeah, we saw the ignoring of that. I was surprised also early in this draft, like, or for these two teams at least, they don't seem to really care about the Drow Ranger either.
Yeah, no one.
I think Naga is really good against like the team fight lineup of Silence's Luna because you just split push. You don't fight into the global, and you never get a good chance to really use global silence against a Naga strat. So
Yeah, she can just later on she can just manta out and use the ulti and just cancel the fight.
So a ban on the DK here.
It's gonna be a Jugger or Naga probably.
I like the Naga. Maybe they're banning Naga, but banning DK because they want to play Naga, not worried about being pushed too fast. But I haven't got too long to decide what this last pick is going to be. Terrorblade.
Kind of in the same realm as a Naga.
Yeah.
We saw good success with it yesterday in the hands of OG and a No-Tail in particular.
A bit less split pushy, a bit more group up with your team and 5-man.
So far, Secret doesn't have much of an anti-push.
Yeah, I mean, Luna will help a little bit here, but if you really wanted to kind of take it to Terrorblade, you might need a little bit of extra, you know.
Well, mid-hero.
Do you see like a
Special.
puck versus Quap? That's fine. Like the classic matchup.
Ah, the Fistful of Tango's
Puck is
classic.
not a bad idea.
OG. They're very
older-
good against the illusions.
Yep. Oh, yeah, exactly. All right. OD going to show himself as the final pickup here for Secret. Gentlemen, our draft is set before us now. I need your predictions.
I'm liking Secret's draft a lot again. The Bloodlust on the Luna, as well as the OD, even the Silencer benefits a lot from it. Got a good initiator in the Axe. I don't think they have too many problems dealing with the illusions thanks to the OD pick.
Yeah, I'll go with Secret as well.
I feel good about Secret's draft.
All right, that would mean if Secret are able to take this down, they will advance into the semifinals, slated to go against Evil Geniuses later, or we'll see if Digital Chaos can hold their own and take it to a Game 3 best of 3. But with that said, let's go ahead and throw things over to our sidelines right now where we have our two casters. It's going to be OD Pixel and Merlini.
Thank you very much, Dakota. Indeed, game 2 coming around now for DC versus Secret. Ben, we've just seen the drafts. What do you think about this with DC ending up with the Terrorblade? I mean, you yourself said a little bit doubtful. They're picking it into the Axe, and as you'd say, you consider Axe a pretty good answer to TB in lane.
Usually you see Axe picked as a counter to TB. It is one of the few heroes left that do synergize well with a Shadow Demon, as we saw from OG's excellent play yesterday. Especially when the Luna is not involved. So I guess they just want a hero that can push towers, that is very heavy agility plays. Maybe something like Morphling I think would have been a little bit better for them, but it seems like Terrorblade will be Resolution's hero of choice.
The final pick as well, worth noting, mid-one getting through the OD. Understandable, I guess, in the draft that we did indeed see DC ban out the Ember Spirit. First ban. Mid-one getting the OD, good alternative you feel for mid-one and another one of his strong heroes, strong hero player combinations he's got?
Definitely. I think he's exceptionally good on OD and Ember, both of them. I'm actually surprised that they banned out a DK. I don't see them play DK too often, I guess. Middle one's usually more on the flashier heroes, not the ones that hit on towers as much.
Moon, this game on the Centaur, Ben. I mean, last time we saw him on the Sand King, he did his best, really, with a lot of very nice burrow strikes and the kite potential of kind of getting himself in and out of the fight. So I guess one of the pluses of him playing the Centaur is the fact that he can not only just weave himself in and out, but he can also save his teammates from quite a lot of what Secret's going to be throwing at them in the fights.
I wonder if he's going to try and itemize against a Silencer. We saw him trying to do it a little bit last game with the Lotus Orb, but right now they don't really have any counterplay to Global Silence. Global Silence is king in the team fights.
For sure, indeed. And we'll see the lanes start to take formation. It is indeed, again, going to be both sides just sticking to their safe lanes. Misery and Pi kind of just heading around, keep having eyes upon each other. Pi will be, at the moment, standing behind Kezu on this top lane. Again, the same way that Secret started out in game 1. Saxa and Misery are in the neighborhood, though, to protect Resolution for these early stages of the laning and make sure that he gets the start that he needs. Bottom lane, Moon trying to put up with the same combination that he was dealing with in game 1. Is it going to be easier or harder, do you feel, for him on a Centaur? Are you having a better time, or would he have had an easier time in game 1 on the Sand King against these two?
I really do like the Centaur versus the Luna.
Yeah.
You're just so tanky. Like normally you just, every time you see Eclipse you just run away, but Centaur, it's one of those heroes you just run in. When you see an Eclipse, you just tank it with Hood and your teammates kind of just follow suit. So if they can get to that point where they're tanky enough with the Centaur and the other cores, then I actually think they can counterplay the silence by just being exceptionally tanky and not having to worry about dying. But as you mentioned, it does depend on the laning phase, which I think may be a little bit easier with the Centaur. Puppy also, last game, he didn't take any Glades of Wisdom. I think at level 7 he went 4-0-2-1. This game still going with that same sort of build. It is going to be very difficult to harass due to the Centaur return though.
Doing their best though.
He picks up Glaives this game. Wants to make it a positive trade versus the turn.
Mid lane, mid one. Let's go for a bit of a setup onto we, but that's the point in the blink, so we are not going to feel too much under fire. And we'll head across and get that early use of the shrine done. Looks like Misery, is he going to be able to join in a little bit of the regen? Yeah, he will be able to just catch the tail end of it, get himself back up to full. As we can see at the moment in this mid lane matchup, mid 1 8 for 3, we have 5 for 2, so the edge is going to OD at the moment. Misery came across, but a quick ignite from Pi to send him back over to his half of the map. Moon, level 2, nearly reached on to level 3. Kezu, actually already headed over to the jungle, Ben. He's leaving the top lanes. Understandable, do you feel, against these two?
I'm not sure.
Or would you like to see him try and put a bit more pressure onto TB?
I'd like to see a little bit more pressure, but I think he'll get way more levels out of it. But I think leaving Rezo alone on a Terrorblade, it just means he's going to push his tower with Metamorphosis. Like, last game, Lifesteal not that great at hitting towers. Pilot, I had a lot of trouble. Nice
deny. Very nice little deny there from mid one. Able to play around that poison of the Shadow Strike from Weeha. And Weeha himself taking a fair few punches in return. Has got the salve ready to go. Still, mid one certainly keeping control of the lane. Tries to blink dodge the right click off, but it isn't going to get it in time. So the salve will be cancelled.
That was pretty greedy play by Wee.
We're just going for that kind of stutter step blink.
Oh,
just
salving in the middle of the lane. I mean, Odie's kind of low range. Maybe he didn't expect him to walk up the hill, but Midwin's very aggressive on this hero. They know where Misery is, so he can kind of predict where the arrow's going to come from, and he's salved up, so he's actually A-okay.
Doesn't get the hero, just gets the creep. Misery attempting to throw in these arrows on the mid lane. Saxa he's going to head over there as well. Maybe see if they can get a better chance of a setup if we can slow him down. The dagger.
CS is really hurting. He just got his bottle, so he's not going to be able to really bottle right before the 4-minute, which is very problematic. Mid one does have a ward on the top. Let's see, which rune is it going to be? There's a lot of heroes on this bottom lane. Shadow Team is smoked up.
He's going to get the setup onto mid one. Mid one, he's in a lot of trouble here. The arrow will connect. Puppy comes across, but I think he'll realize he's got to leave mid one for dead. And DC will find themselves the first blood there. The classic combination of the ST Mirana showing his potential.
Yeah, they didn't really expect him to move down to the south side, or he didn't expect the supports to move down to the south side. That's a really nice move by Misery and Saxa, catching out the OD, knowing that, okay, he's not going to go top, he's going to, like, Murana's constantly been in that area. He doesn't want to get arrowed near the rune, but I also really like that Moon was there too, to ensure that kill.
Look at this, they want to try and set it up for even more. They did have this ward here, Secret Home. Yeah, they would have seen this coming across, and indeed, MP just hugging the tree line down bottom, making sure that this SD Mirana won't be able to find the setup onto him on this bottom lane, but does slow down his farm, and back up. Pilot is heading his way over towards the bottom. There's a bit of time where MP just has to play very safely. There's more backup coming in now. There's Puppy turns up to the lane. They get the trident together. It's all spotted out from DC now, so that they know exactly what they're dealing with on this bottom lane.
And they got that D ward. Pilot, they just dropped the sentry ward, so now DC are kind of playing blind on that side of the map. They were forced to retreat from that area. Mirana, you know, it's one of those heroes that you're okay just kind of sitting there. He was able to arrow a large satyr, so MP is not farming, but Mirana's still getting farm while they're both kind of waiting each other out.
Kezu has got the Vanguard queued up first this game. Do you like that still on the axe, just getting the Vanguard first in these sort of situations before a Blink Dagger rush?
I think he's their main source of initiation. There are a lot of damage instances from the Terrorblade, so I think that's where the Vanguard comes in really useful. And I don't really like going Vanguard after the Blink, so if he is going to go a Vanguard, I think he should definitely get it first.
Misery did come around from the back there, starting to play around with Secret. The pressure being put on by Resolution with the Metamorphosis. Saxa to help out as well. They get half of the damage done to the tier 1.
They're having chicken issues though. The Aquila hasn't come out yet for Resolution. Centaur had his Tranquils really delayed on the bottom lane. I'm not exactly sure why this chicken has been under so much use, but it looks like Secret might be able to mount up a defense.
Let's see if they can get any sort of jump in. Saxa stepping forward. Ezu is going to be able to get anything done. Soul catches on him. He needs to be a little bit careful of a potential burst, but Misery is out of mana. Not a lot that he can offer to this. DC do manage to find themselves the tower. Resolution getting the last touch as well, so more gold into the bank of the Terror Blade. 51 CS against MP's 42, and a tower as well. Resolution with the early game lead.
Centaur's going for that hood build that we see very commonly on Centaur versus Luna. This is becoming an increasingly more and more common matchup. Misery trying to poke around on the side, just being very elusive with his positioning, trying to arrow someone.
Now we are playing very aggressive as well in the mid lane. Has that Sonic Wave good to go. Regen rune as well, so would certainly love to give it a bit of a pop if he sees the opening to do so. Saxa getting a bit of vision down, but immediate pings out. They do know that he headed over there, dropped the ward, because they're ward themselves Secret. Now Moon trying to get a bit of CS down on this bottom lane. Still 7.5 minutes in, only the one death so far. I mean, is this ooh, Moon have to be very careful. They're being brought down to 100 HP. Maybe looking for a bit of a bait action as Saxa and Misery in the neighborhood. Moon will shrine up.
Really hard during nighttime. I don't think Luna is able to get the jump unless he like right clicks the tower. Saksa's in position waiting for MP to right click the tower, but he salved up. He also spent all his gold, so even if he dies right now, not the worst thing in the world. And Radiant are very wary to DC's moves. There's a scan that's going to miss, and they're not exactly sure where these two are, but they know that they're hunting someone.
Now we was kind of toying around with the idea of blowing the Sonic Wave onto the Ogre. It's got a fair bit of mana now. The treads are out. We are starting to come into a bit of a better shape in this mid lane. It's taken over the CS of mid 1.
Secret's vision is just a lot better. Like, they have that ward that's blocking Rezo's camp. They just dewarded the one near the top rune. They dewarded the one on the bottom lane. Like, DC, they don't exactly know where to move with the Shadow Demon and the Rana because they just don't have any vision. They don't know where the supports are. And Silencer's closing in on that level 6 mark, and their time to actually make good use of this early roaming is going to be cut short.
And they will group up for support. Resolution looking to move into position and do what he does best at this stage of the game with the Metamorphosis. They obviously already took down the tier 1 top. 9 minutes in. Looking to take down a second tier 1, get some more money into the bank of the team. Kezu, abusing the fact that this lane is open for the taking. Pretty much has the gold done for that Vanguard completion, and he himself will look to put some pressure on with the help of MP, turning up to the top, push down at tower. Mid lane. Highlight die, eyes onto Misery. It's just himself, so all he can offer is a few punches. Weeha is invised up at the moment as well. Has enough mana to blow out the combo.
He has a raindrop on the Ogre and a ton of armor, so I don't really think they want to go for him at the moment. Wee looking for perhaps an easier target, trying to scout for middle, and middle one's very low, but doesn't look like Wee is going to be able to go in instead. Highlight die.
Yeah, they've got the appearance of Saxa. Misery even connects the arrow as well to make the kill now a little bit easier. DC, the Ogre Magi. Vanguard was complete though, and so was the tower taken down, and immediately Secret smoking up from the top lane, looking to wrap around, and it could be a goal. Misery's incredibly low, leaps out. The curse, will it quite finish him off? It looks like it should here. I don't think there's any way of saving Misery, and indeed there isn't. Misery taken down by the curse of Puppey.
I think he got the curse off right before he leaped. So.
Yeah, so reset.
Yep, 10-second duration on that.
And these curses holding back Weeha. Secret themselves quickly moving into another tier 1 push after taking that tier 1 top. Arrow will fly through. Is it going to connect? The needle is threaded. DC, can they do anything to slow this down? That'll be the disruption play, but no sort of a chance. They tried to go for the deny on the tower, didn't quite make it. Mid 1 gets the final touch. Another tier 1 is gone down. A lot of attention towards the mid lane. Elsewhere, Moon trying to use the space that's been given down on the bottom, and up top, Resolution continuing his farm game. 10.5 minutes in. On the net worth, we can see with the space that Resolution's had in the safe lane, he is at the top. 5.5k net worth. Of course, those 2 towers helping as well that he was able to take down. So it's been a very good start for this Terrorblade man. But the same could be said, of course, for both the mid laners. And the question is, when we start to see Secret move around the map and try and shut down the TB, is that something that they're going to be focusing on now, or are there other objectives that take a priority?
I think they can wait. I don't think there's any need to rush it. They can just let Terrorblade get pretty farmed. As long as Global plus Blink Call is effective, they don't really feel any rush. And like Silencer is just such a good counter to Shadow Demon. He just has to sit there for 4 seconds while he watches his teammates die, and that's kind of the worst feeling that you get as a support. And it looks like they are going for a gank onto MP. Pilot is there to break the smoke. What a game player.
They will mess up the screen, but they won't mess up the disruption into arrow combination. They'll get the kill, but as you said,
that's a happy death.
He's tanking it. MP's walking off with full health.
And he spent his gold, bought a Tome of Knowledge before he passed away. Silencer, level 6 now. Looks like he is going for the headdress into Helmut Dominator yet again.
It certainly worked out last game. We saw some really nice creep control of Puppy there.
Yeah, the thing about the Helmut Dominator is you're always going to find a useful creep for any situation. If nothing else, then move speed is going to be good. The Alpha Wolf, not as much use this game as in other games, but Frost Armor generally very useful too. The Purge creep's also very useful. So I think there's a creep for every situation, and as a support, you can kind of adapt to what you need. And I also think the Regen Aura is very, very useful. They have a lot of sustain with the Essence Aura. Combine that with the headdress, perhaps a mech later from someone else. I don't think anyone's getting a mech this game, but it's still very nice to be able to continuously siege.
Is this sort of worry though for Secret, the fact that DCR hitting this really nice pace, 12 minutes in, moving across the map, taking the tier 2 bottom, taking another tier 1 mid at pretty incredible speed. Resolution's big. They are going to try and jump it though. Kezu immediately in, looking towards the center, holds back on the dunk, doesn't even need it at the end of the day. The swing of the axe takes him down mid 1, looking to set up for another one as MP comes across as well. Zaxa to fall, double kill for mid 1. They may have lost the tower, but they instantly find 2 kills. Can they get anything more? With this haste rune, mid 1, he's chasing down. He has found Weeha. Blink still on cooldown for 5 seconds. He should be okay though. The rest of the team not quite in the neighborhood. Weeha just looking to go for the outplays with the Dukes into the creep camp. Out he goes. Weeha will escape. But big kills there for mid 1, starting to bump him up, but this tower gold bet is keeping Resolution very much ahead this game.
I think it's okay because they have the counters for him, and I also think that Queen of Pain's not able to get any kills. She's 1-0-1, which is all right, but you know, you much prefer to be the OD in this sort of situation where everyone's just farming up. You know, the fights are just very long pauses in between each of the fights because Dire side has to wait for the metamorphosis every time they push. So like you're comfortable with this farming pace because OD I think is much more strong in the mid to late game, and OD has a lot more farm than the Queen.
Pilot I caught out position there. Moon, Misery, taking him down with a quick 1-2-3. In the jungle, a Secret. 14 minutes in, definitely worth considering to look at the speed that Kezu's been able to pick up the farm as well. You know, he got the Vanguard, but quickly 14 minutes in, Blink Dagger now complete as well on top of it. So now, as you mentioned kind of earlier, you know, if he can get that initiation onto the TB, especially into a situation where Sax is being focused by the rest of Team Secret and there's not going to be any sort of chance for a disruption to hold him back, he can do a hell of a lot of damage. Pilot Eye. It's going to be eyed up here. Saxa isn't going to go for the setup. Rezo's the only one really in the neighborhood. No Misery this time around, as Misery's just picking up some farm on the space given to him on the bottom lane. 1,300 gold in the bank. A quick scan from the Radiant side just to check Resolution's position as he does back up. Only Pi and MP there up towards the top half at the moment, and very much happy with MP just continuing to farm. As we can see on the net worth, fairly close individually overall. It's just a 1k lead for DC. A lot of that down to the amount of gold that Resolution has amounted to at this stage.
Not only do they have the axe for pure damage against the Terrorblade, I think it's also countered by the OD. OD makes quick work of the illusions and has a ton of pure damage and a ton of magic burst to pierce through that Terrorblade's high armor, and just you need burst to be able to kill him before he sunders. So I am very worried for this Terrorblade's life going much later into the game, especially with OD picking up this much farm. But Rezo is very, very far ahead. I think they need to secure him at Aegis at some point, but now's not really the time. But it is time to start kind of thinking about it. How are you going to approach it? If you can like smoking towards the top side of the map, or perhaps smoke into Roshan. And there is a smoke from the Radiant side trying to show off the new blink, but it's just going to be sucks. I guess it might be worth it if they get in, but this is similar to a Pilot Eye death where you're okay with it.
Well, I'll certainly get it with the initiation from Kezu. They take down the Shadow Demon, who still have a creep alive, so they could look to try and pressure down this tier 2, laying down the sentry as well, just in case any sort of moonlight wraparound comes in from DC.
But Queen is beating on the T3 with a double damage. That's a lot of damage that I don't really think Secret are going to be necessarily happy with in this fight. Arrow from Misery, he was actually looking to kill the wolf there. Pretty smart play from him.
Well, they will lose the tier 2. Immediate TP's now coming back, looking for Weeha. Blinks it away, plays it safe, but as you said, gets a bit of damage done. Still, it is Secret finding the objectives. Blink Dagger's now done for Moon. DC may be a little bit more ready to try and turn up to those pushes and try and turn them around if Moon can get a good blink, who stop initiations. Just something that's going to be able to set up Weeha for a big Sonic Wave, and that's exactly what they're going to do now. Smoking up through their own jungle, they want to make something big happen with this blink reveal, and they may just be able to mid-one try for the TP. Actually, oh, he cancelled the TP, slides down. I don't know if he's going to be able to get himself out there. The global will come through from Puppey. They're trying to save him. It doesn't look like it's going to be enough, though. DC surround him. They will get away with the OD kill. Big kill for DC. They'll certainly be happy with that, but it was nice to see that quick reactions there because of the warding. They did see the smoke dispel on the outskirts, and Mid-One tried his best to play his way out. It wasn't quite enough, though.
Yeah, that's a much better kill for DC with their smoke as opposed to Secret smoke. And Metamorphosis is up. 20 seconds.
Time to push.
On the OD. Yep, time to push.
And each and every time, just perfect timing for this Terra play lineup. 17.5 minutes in. It's tier 2, and then there's only going to be one more to go on the top. Puppey just being ignored here at the moment as Rezo just wants to get the damage done to the tower. Roshan is up. I mean, could either of the sides be looking towards Roshan anytime soon, or is it just a little too risky still at this stage early on?
It's definitely risky because the shrines are still up, and Blink Axe Call or Blink Centaur Hoof Stomp is almost certain death for either team in that area. They need to do it under the element of surprise or with strength in numbers. It wouldn't be that bad of a time for DC to go because of Global being down, but now meta is also expiring very, very shortly, so Rezo's time to shine. We'll have to wait another minute and a half. So both teams just kind of playing it patiently. Secret not willing to fight without the global silence, and DC not willing to fight around the Metamorphosis. Both teams just kind of trading towers back and forth. Still, I do favor the team fight over Secret just because there is just straight no counter to global into a blink call initiation from them, and that will allow a lot of time for OD to be able to steal a lot of intel. One downside about Secret's lineup is they don't actually have enough AoE to clear the Terrorblade illusions or the Shadow Demon illusions. Axe is like okay at that, but you don't really want to blink call on illusions to start out a fight. But at the same time, you don't want those illusions out of the fight because they do a ton of damage because Terrorblade just hits like a truck. And on top of that, you want those illusions down so that Luna can make a great use of her Eclipse. She is level 12 right now, so that Eclipse could reign king in the next team fight.
Mid-One looking to lead the way up top with the smoke. He's caught out Misery, and Kezi should be there with a blink. Cool follow-up if necessary, and that doesn't look like it is. Mid-One slides forward, Misery tries for the TP out. It's not going to disjoin the right clicks here as he's taken down. At the same time though, DC, they find the bigger kills. They caught MP out on his own, they take out the Ogre, so at the end of the day, that smoke from Secret ends up hurting them more than it does for them, as they lose MP because he didn't have any sort of backup, and now DC's got the space to go into the Roshan pit then.
And that was a really smart play by DC there, identifying that Secret, yeah, they smoked, but just to kill a Mirana. OD almost had that kill by himself. Yeah. As soon as they saw the heroes, they're like, okay, well, let's see what we can do. Luna's not with them, and she's just farming Ancients, as is pretty normal for a Luna. Alpha Wolf tanks the Soul Catcher. There is no one inside to stop this Roshan, however, and that will be a free Aegis going the way of Resolution. Yeah,
Resolution just getting bigger and bigger this game. 12,000 net worth, that Aegis in his pocket as well. Yeah, it just feels like the tempo is perfect for DC so far this game. 20 minutes in, they're exactly where they wanted to be.
Yeah, the Secret aren't able to connect on any of their combos. Like they're just finding all the wrong targets with their smokings. It's just, you know, Shadow Demon up on top. They got Misery up on top again with the smokings. They need to be going for these big old cores, especially before they get their HP items. Wee looks like he's going for a Scepter next. Eels to perhaps deal with the Global Silence as well as deal with the Axe. Eels is one of the best items versus an Axe. When he blink calls Blade Mails, you just waste his entire initiation if you can Eels him up in the air. Well, Moon Meander is set in position to deal with MP, and there is no one around for DC.
They're going to TP Misery back. They have a TP across to the mid tier 2 and to this one as well. And in fact, with the Hoostomp into the arrow, they are being able to catch him out, bring him down low, and they found MP again. DC, the fantastic way to start the fight, and they're not done yet. They're looking towards Kezu. They'll back themselves off, make sure that the spinning axes don't catch them out as they take down a second, and the rest of Secret just have to tuck their tails and run. Once again, DC is finding superior team fights. It just feels like the opposite of what we saw in game 1, really, where each and every time Secret were forcing the fights, DC didn't know what to do. This time around, it's Secret trying to force the fights, but DC turning, and at this stage, with the lead that they've got, it's too much for Secret to withstand.
DC is doing a very good job of identifying like where Secret's moving around the map. Like OD wasn't there. You'd normally say that with a defensive Astral and then turn to fight around with Global Silence, but because they didn't have the defensive Astral, the Luna just perished and the rest of the team just forced to run away. And that's the second time they've split up like that. The OD and the Luna not really working together to cover each other in the team fights. If they go on the OD in the team fight, you just eclipse and just run in. That's not really that big a deal. But you know, I think they're just not on the same page here. Maybe not sure how they want to tackle this overfarmed Terrorblade, who is currently killing the Shrine, and Shrine's dead.
And one Shrine down. I'm sure they'll have their eyes on the second one. Just getting more and more control across the map. More and more money into the pockets. Resolution making a beeline immediately for this area. He'll spot out Pi. Pick up a few creeps on the way around, and Secret just keeping themselves up on the high ground. 5-9, 23 minutes in. It certainly feels as well. It does hurt Puppey. We saw in game 1 a lot of fighting, a lot of killing, and he had a lot of intel stolen. But so far, 23 minutes in, only 4 intel stolen. It's not the dream situation for the Silencer.
They want Kezu to be able to get more kills. Like, he's an Axe. Like, you don't really want to just purely farm as an Axe, because you just deal so much damage with your counter helix in the early game. But like right now, he hasn't really been able to chop anyone's head off, just sitting at 0 kills. Normally an Axe around this point in time maybe at 3, 4, 5, 6 kills, but they're just playing on their side of the map and always scared to make the move. They don't have a Nexus in this game to get the information for them.
I mean, just look at Resolution's nearly got a Skadi complete as well. I mean, it's just insane how much he's found in this early stage of the game before the 24-minute mark. And it really feels like it's getting to the point where, you know, we mentioned at the start how Axe does have answers to TB, but when the Terrorblade has Manta, Dragonlance, and Skadi, that pure damage, it starts to fall off then.
Definitely so. I don't even think those two have like matched up at all aside from the lane. I mean, their T3's being attacked for crying out loud, and just nothing's happening. Finally, they go in.
Yeah, Kezu will get the jump in, starts to drag Resolution back. They'll pop the Global Silence. Can they get a kill under it? That's the question, though. They will be able to take down Misery with the right clicks of mid one.
And that's without Luna. Luna is killing the T2, and DC have to retreat right now. They're both TPing on the Shrine. MP could be in a lot of trouble unless he TPs out very quickly. Actually, there is a Yules.
There's a Yules. He will try and turn with the Eclipse, and in fact, forcing Wee to Yules himself out. Saxa comes forward. They're playing around it. Can they kill him in time? Yes, they can. The Soul Catcher, Sonic Wave, and the Shadow Strike is enough.
That DD certainly helps too. Nice play from Wee there. MP almost baited him in.
They did manage to get that tower though, and they did hold on to the defense here, Secret, on the top lane.
Only about 20 seconds left on the Aegis. I don't think Rezo can really do that too much out of it, or with it, aside from just regen.
They won't mind that. Be able to get his mana back up to full. Eyes on to Kezu. Misery leaping into position. They need to try and find the angle for that arrow follow-up, and there we have it. Beautifully done. It's a lot of stun. Do they actually have the damage to bring him down? Coming in close with the Starstorm. It's bringing him low. Double edge as well is enough to finish it off. Moon and Misery take the pick, and that's Kezu out for 45 seconds. Doesn't have buyback. As you mentioned, DC do not have the Aegis. They still want to push though. Coming in on the mid lane, DC ready to put pressure onto the high ground once more. Resolution taking a lot of damage. It looks like he's just feeling confident in the potential to sunder if necessary.
Might be worth sundering a teammate at this point. Soxa in particular, but it looks like he wants to save it perhaps for the next fight. It was only a level 2 sunder, so 80 seconds on that. But they still have 18 seconds without the axe. They kind of wasted an urn charge, but not too big of a deal.
Yeah, Resolution just simply sundering one of the Shadow Demon illusions of Shadow Demon himself.
Mid one's doing a fantastic job of keeping these illusions at bay.
For sure. Actually, pop the Sonic Wave and run there. DC gonna back themselves away. Was not afraid to put that Sonic Wave with that Aghanim Scepter. Weeheart, level 16 as well at this stage, looking to work towards BKB next. And DC, I mean, with this kind of lineup as well, do you feel that they do feel safe in backing up, just continuing to farm, or is there a threat against Team Secret's late game potential?
I think as long as they continue to get Aegis, they'll feel okay. But I think once Luna gets an Aegis and once Terrorblade is like a little bit vulnerable in the team fights, then DC might have to worry a little bit. But they're pretty comfortable as is. They've taken out so many towers, gotten a ton of damage on all the T3s in each of the lanes, and the Secret just haven't really done anything this game besides farm.
That certainly seems to be the case. We'll check the overall net worth, and still DC certainly with the lead, 7,500. Can be turned around though. One good team fight, and Secret could see themselves back on top. And at the moment, DC certainly the ones with the firm grip on the game. Moon doing up the Aghanim Scepter. That's going to be very nice on him as well. It's kind of looking to see if someone can get a Lotus Orb out on the side. I guess, do you feel he might build it? Because being able to cast the Stampede during the global silence could be very nice, couldn't it? If you're DC, just to make sure the Secret can't get anything done under the cover of Puppey's ultimate.
Definitely, but that's a lot of gold. Lotus plus Ags is 8,000.
It's a long way away.
Yeah, and the Co-op and the Terrorblade have higher farm priority than him. Even the Mirana, I would say, has higher farm priority. She does have the Ags at this point too, so contributing a decent amount in that burst area. But yeah, I would be looking to get a Lotus Orb maybe 40 minutes in the game if it gets that late.
Now Weeha choosing to pop the smoke out to get the jump on the courier. DC in position to push in onto the mid lane. Bottom lane being cleared through by Resolution's illusions as well. Let's see how hard they can go in onto Secret. Lane very much keeping control here. Pi will find himself a DD rune. Misery just continue to try and starve Secret out over their side of the map, taking their camps away from them.
Might be time for them to go. Roche is about to respawn, and it's been, what, 8 minutes? Just a little over 8 minutes, so Secret, the longer they wait, the more chance that Roshan has to respawn. I don't know if they want to give a free one to Terrorblade, because it's going to mean that they're knocking out their T3s. Again.
Mid one close to his BKB. Be some few big item timings that we're seeing them wait upon. MP now with the BKB. Kezu does get the jump in onto Weeha. Has he quite got the damage? Tried for the dunk, but the Yule Scepter and blink out in time will save Weeha's life.
I think the global would have been worth it there to ensure the kill on the Queen, but didn't seem like they wanted to commit that.
I guess potentially worried about the fact that I guess once the global's down, DC could very well look to push in incredibly hard. So maybe feeling that the priority is there to hold it for that scenario.
Yeah, perhaps if Queen had died due to global there, they would just wait for Queen to respawn and just walk into the Roche pit without really any fear of the team fight. Yeah, so perhaps a smarter choice by Puppey to hold it, and they will smoke. It is around that time where Roshan is going to respawn, one of the most important times for Secret in this entire game. Who are they going to be able to find, if anyone? Mid one is out on his lonesome, but DC have known that he has done that for the majority of the game. So I would say these heroes in mids still don't feel safe despite getting vision on mid one.
I'm not going to start it off as of yet, just hanging around seeing if any members of DC do come through. Mid one actually going to TP himself back to base. Secret kind of toying around with this idea, not really looking to fully go in. DC are in the neighborhood.
There's a BKB on the Terrorblade as well, so can tank the Eclipse or avoid it altogether.
And avoiding certainly seems to be what both teams are doing. Secret not wanting to come too close to the pit. DC know that no one in there. And looks like Secret will just return to trying to push back these lanes that DC have pressure for it. Resolution with the illusion spam on the top lane. Getting that pushed in. We are working towards the Orchid, which he pretty much has got complete. We have it just picked up now. Nice answer as well to just have that potential to build up into the Bloodthorn once we see the inevitable butterfly come out in the later stage of MP, and already MP has got it queued up.
There's a lot of physical mitigation on the side of Secret. They have the Shivas and they have the ice armor creep, just ice armoring up everyone. That frost armor is really, really good against the Terrorblade in this situation. And both teams kind of just waiting around, seeing what's going to happen around the Roche pit. Both sides just fearful of that big T-Fight ultimate. Maybe not even close to sure of how Centaur's Ags is coming along too. If they can like stampede like from the backside of the pit, that would just be absolutely disastrous for Secret, and they are definitely wary of that potential prospect.
A lot of pings on this mid lane. Both teams kind of at a stalemate, neither wanting to jump forward, as they know that the counter will be there, vice versa. Just eyeing each other up. Secret starting to push DC back a little bit more so. MP will head up to the high ground, getting eyes onto Moon. Moon immediately blinks out Kezu, tries for the blink initiation. A little bit late for the call there, doesn't catch out Saxa. Now, have to be careful, Secret. TP coming through from Wee. Will silence up Kezu. Arrow isn't going to connect. Weehard jumping forward. Puppy's there with a force, trying to get Kezu out of harm's way. Global comes in just in time. There's no who stop to lock down Kezu, but Resolution pops the BKB. Has the reflection, goes towards Kezu. The Sonic Wave flies through from Wee. They're taken down one. Look at the damage onto MP. Resolution just rips the Luna to pieces. DC, they found two. Misery with an arrow to the back of Puppy. Looks to close in, pick up a third. DC crushing Secret very convincingly there in that fight, and just performing beautifully around the global silence, and we're just seeing the power of Resolution with that BKB and Skadi. Very little the Secret can do about it.
They really had to get that jump on the Shadow Demon. I don't exactly know what happened to his call. He got Orchided later on in the fight, but he was not able to connect with the call on the Shadow Demon, and Shadow Demon and the rest of DC just kind of came in and destroyed the Axe. They controlled him with the Orchid into a Shadow Strike, so he couldn't blink at all. They were forced to use Global to try and save him because he was the gem carrier, and that DC in a very firm position to take control of this game.
Yeah, Resolution just going up and up in this world. Overall net worth now coming to 15,000. It's getting to a considerable lead now for DC. Resolution queuing up the butterfly as MKB is not going to be on anyone's kind of shopping list anytime soon on the side of Secret. So with that evasion, he's going to be pretty much unkillable in these team fights. It's going to be very hard for Secret to deal with. MP still, he's just not in the place that he was in game one. He's 50,000. He's about 5.5k behind this Terrorblade. Still mid one on the OD. Top of the Shiva's blink and BKB of his own is looking towards the Hex. So it really does feel like Secret, they need more time, but at the same time as the game goes on, DC, they've just been farming and using the resources across the map here in game two that little bit better.
And Rezo we trust. DC's motto going into the late game. Actually, I mean, Wee's pretty farmed too.
Oh, mid one. Actually jumping in here, pops the BKB, trying to man up against Resolution. They will just turn and run back up to the high ground. So that's going to be mid one's BKB on cooldown. DC, they'll want to abuse this for sure. They still have the Aegis, of course, on Resolution yet to be popped. DP's now coming back from Secret. DC just will continue to stand strong and push in onto this bottom lane. Misery has got the ward out, immediately will be dewarded by Secret. Resolution falling down low. Moon gets a good strong jumping onto mid one with the Sonic Wave that starts, so he's immediately bursted. That's mid one out for 70 seconds. Asunder from Resolution keeps him alive, turns towards Kezu, tries to jump in on the backlines, but the damage from Rezo is just too damn much. Too dead on Secret. Puppy trying to get himself away, but Resolution gets the connection, hasn't got quite enough damage to bring him down through the Shrine's regen. Secret are two members down. They did find the Shadow Demon. MP Pie and Puppy left to try and do their best to hold DC off this push, and it looks like they're just about doing it here. Keeping DC off the rest, but then until Moon comes in again, and then Weehart with the follow-up, blows up another. MP's out. Will buy back immediately. They have fortifications. Secret still trying their best to hold. The melee racks still stand. They'll clean out the illusions. Finally, though, the illusions do it. The melee racks will fall. DC, they're not done yet. They're sticking around. They want to try and find more out of this by the looks of it. Finally back off now that the metamorphosis has come. Back off Resolution. They get the job done, and they get a fair bit of Secret's blood shed as well. 3 kills, forcing out the buyback on Luna. Again, only losing Saxa for that trade.
Just looked too easy. Resolution just casually pops BKB, Sunners the Ogre, full HP. There's like 6 illusions. They have no way to clear them because Axe is already dead in the fight. And Axe is just a sad Axe this game. His net worth is very, very low. Like, he's 7th, but I mean, he's way far behind number 6. I just don't think that they were active enough this game. I think you want to fight like every single global cooldown, and yeah, you might be fighting in a metamorphosis, but if you can stop one of those pushes, you're in a really good spot. I'd gladly trade global silence or metamorphosis in the early game before the Terrorblade gets too big, but they just waited so darn long that DC is just monstrous. Look at the Terrorblade's net worth.
Absolutely ridiculous. Resolution 5-0-7 this game. Still has a bit of time left with that Aegis, so yeah, still about a couple of minutes or so. DC can use to try and get some more objectives complete with it. Lane Racks could be the next opening that they want to go for. And Secret still have a lot of things to be answered for in terms of being able to bring together a defense to deal with the power that they've allowed DC to get to. A solution immediately in onto the tower. Doesn't have the creeps in at the moment. Won't be able to do too much about this, but outside the base, Kezu's been caught out by Moon and Misery. He's out for the count. 50 seconds on the sidelines for Kezu.
Moon's been playing like a beast this game. Like, the multiple setup kills on the Luna and the way he's been able to keep up his farm is just incredible. He's like pretty close to the Luna in net worth.
Moon leading onto Pi. Again, the arrow combo's there. They've taken down a second. DC finding a strong, confident opening to move in onto the mid racks. So Sundown to mid one, keeping him low. DC clean up the melee racks in the mid lane. Jump forward from Moon, just again finding these openings, solid way into the ears of Puppey. He'll buy back immediately, but the full set of racks is down in the middle. DC get what they came for, and they may even look for more. Already just moving across to the top lane. The Aegis now expiring. They're still standing strong. DC Resolution will just pop the BKB and back away. They're not going to play too greedily. They want to play it safe. Butterfly is now out for Resolution as well. 38 minutes in. The farm does just not stop for this Terrorblade.
Yes, it does not stop at all. And like, if they want to go later, they still have to deal with Queen of Pain level 25 with Octarine Blade Mail. Yeah, he's so like it's not going to get any easier for them. It might seem like they have really strong late game with the Luna and the OD, but I mean, their base is in shambles. They've lost 2 melee, 1 ranged already, and very likely to concede Roshan after, unless they do something very, very quickly. I think a lot of their smokes just didn't connect. I don't even know if they have smokes anymore.
A 30,000 net worth lead as well for DC. Absolutely huge. I love the build the Moon's going for as well. Straight off the axe, he's looking towards picking up the refresher ban. I mean, double stampede. Good luck if your Secret kind of outliving the damage this TB is going to be able to get done in the fight. Just chasing down your hero to the ends of the map.
Yeah, just too much damage mitigation too. OD ult just gets destroyed by that.
Misery. Yeah, they're getting punished there. Defensive disruption from Saxa will keep him alive as well as the Greaves. He'll be okay. They'll try to start and TP out, but MP's going to be left behind here. The rest will escape. But that's MP out for 80 seconds. They've got the tier 2, but it may not be worth it. Weehard does get caught out, though, on the top. He tried to get away with a bit of a cheeky push on his own, nearly being able to solo the melee racks. But Secret react in time.
We knows when to push as a mid laner too. I think DC as a whole, like we see Mood meander like right click towers a lot with Sand King, like Wee's just playing the Queen of Pain like a split push. I think it's one of their best strengths.
And they get the call here onto Resolution, but they got the damage and it does not look like they have at all. Rezo, 5 seconds until that metamorphosis is available again, and then at that point you do not want to be sticking around if you're a member of Secret. Pi starting to head back, then with the Yules onto mid one, no sort of follow through, but the illusions just bringing Pi down incredibly low. He will manage to survive, Arrow won't connect. The next push could be painful. DC have that Metamorphosis good to go. They may be without a Queen of Pain, but they know that Secret don't have the Luna for 20 seconds. Mid one actually going in. He has the Shivas and the BKBs. Turns to stuff still the end on Moon. Will drop the Sanities, but Resolution staying alive, and this damage from the Terrorblade is too much. Kezu will try and initiate. There'll be a buyback from Odie. Resolution standing strong, takes down the Axe. Puppy sent up into the air. Resolution just moves across to him. Mid one coming through. Can he do the damage to bring him out? There'll be a Astral to hold back the TB, but it's a dieback from the OD. Pylai dies out yet again. MP with the BKB. The Eclipse, can he finish off Moon's section? Resolution on his own, that's the question. They're pouring down low. Can the Luna do it? Is he that strong? It looks like it is. He's taking out two, but Weehaw, he shuts them up for good. Jumps in with the Sonic Wave. GG is called, and DC take game 2.
With the cleanup crew right there. I mean, he set this whole game up though, I think, trying to break apart Secret's 5-man, knowing that they are at the full strength with a Luna there and with a silencer there in the back, but he split them up with a split push constantly, just beating on their T3. It's like, okay, you guys can take our T1.